What is going on, everybody? This is 25 and Invested here. I am going to talk to you about losers. This is going to be the new weekly update as well. On Sundays, I will be posting just a deep dive into the biggest loser of the week in my portfolio. So, without further ado, this week we have it's newtek. It's all the way at the bottom. Let's that load in, and newtek. I am down officially 50.73%, but in this week alone, the stock is down about 22%. We're going to prove that in just a moment. Peak to trough, 22%. I believe 20% altogether, but we'll look at that. And we'll look at why that is and what happened. And goddamn, I am negative 50% on newtek 1. So we'll take a look into the position itself and understand what I did and why I did it, and then we will we'll take a deeper dive into what happened. So overall 19.85%. So again, we're going to switch over to Webull after this, and then we're going to look at a few charts. It's got a PE of 5, it's got a yield of 22%. That is actually a lie, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So I guess we'll go through my average. So right now, my average on newtek is 25.25. Super goddamn high. Probably the only stock that I bought at the literal top. It's unfortunate. So, yeah. Goddamn, they got me. I got myself. I also think this is probably just the poorest investment jump in that I've had yet. So, and fortunately, it is the smallest position in my portfolio. Like almost as small as Dollarama, but Dollarama is doing great. newtek's doing poorly, so almost the smallest part. It's the smallest conviction play where I actually put in more money at a later date. So we can take a look here at when I bought. These are the times that I bought newtek. April 8th was the biggest day. Maybe we can track that back. And yeah, let's take a look at newtek. So right here, I actually did a chart overlay between Citibank, Silicon Valley Bank, and newtek. And I mean, we can see, obviously, there's a trend there. We can see that it is, all three are falling at a pretty rapid pace. Obviously, Citibank's doing better, but I was doing a little bit of due diligence earlier and found that Citibank is actually probably one of the worse off banks. Not quite as bad as Silicon Valley Bank, and probably not as bad as newtek. We're not going to go into financials. This is going to be looking at charts and looking at trends. So I'm not a big fan of astrology, which is what I call charting, but we're just looking at overall trends, which, I mean, I believe that to be true no matter what type of chart you're looking at. The trend is your friend till the end. I'm sure you guys have heard of that. So we can see that newtek is doing about twice as good as Silicon Valley Bank, but they are both doing terribly. They are terrible investments so far. And this is stretching back from 2022, and then we will go to the monthly, and we will see that it is also still very poor. Citibank actually, between, I guess, 2018 all the way up till now, is doing surprisingly worse than newtek, which I'm shocked, just as shocked as you. But Silicon Valley Bank, blah, blah, has had the biggest run up and the biggest drop. Like, goddamn, the volatility there. Holy crap. Other than that, so we're just gonna leave that just so you guys know, in proportion to other people who do about the same thing. Startup investment firms. That's what Silicon Valley Bank was. They helped with tech startups, and newtek is also a loan service for small businesses, small to medium cap businesses. So we'll leave that and we'll go to newtek. And if we look at, we can draw a line here and measure from peak to trough. We are looking at from peak to trough, 21.49%, a little bit lower, about 22% drop. That is pretty extensive. That is a big drop. Let's go to the news, and we can take a look at why that is. And they are trimming their balance sheets quite a bit when it comes to dividends. So if we take a look back here, NEWT Business Service declares 18-cent dividend. That is a substantial drop from what it was. And we can go to their portfolio, their press releases, and then we can look at the dividends. And we could see that they were boasting a 0.7 cent, a 70-cent dividend, $1.05 at one point in time. So that dividend is super unsustainable. I would assume that it was draining their cash flow like crazy. And now that the stock price has fallen and that they have diluted their shareholders, me included, that they have been using that to finance their dividends, which increases the amount of dividends you got to pay. If you have more shares, you have to pay out more people. So they need to slash that dividend and spread out that income across a wider range of people. Damn, that sucks. So they're just not doing everything that they need to, everything that I'd like them to. It's going to take a little while for me to, we're going to go to the 5 year. It's going to take a little while for me to get back to a buy zone with them. They have more or less tarnished a reputation. Again, a very small portion of my portfolio. So I'm actually grateful that they're so low, because they are such a small portion of what I own. So I do have the option now if I'd like to buy more or not. I think that slashing the dividend is going in the right direction. I think that personally, I would like to see their balance sheets improve. I'm going to be taking a look at their financials now that I'm 50% down. I think it's time to take a deeper dive into what they're doing. This blue line right here, this one right here, that's my average. So as we can see, my average is pretty goddamn high. As a matter of fact, I think the medium here would be about $12. So we're getting down into a buy area, but in order for me to justify bringing my average down enough, it needs to go below the average that I'd like. And currently I have a little notification set at $13. I think that I will be waiting until something more substantial, maybe around $7 or $8. So $8 would land me about here, $8.50. So again, I'm not very clinical about these. I feel it out, which I know that isn't exactly what you want to hear, but I'm looking for a definitive reversal, which is what I thought we had here. But, that isn't how this story goes. And when one big bank falls, it does echo through the rest of the sector. Again, we're going to take a look. It isn't the first time that NEWT has gone through periods of sustained decline. And we will see how I can do it. It did hit a 50 cents in 2008, 2007, 2008 during the financial crisis. So, again, obviously they did something right back then. I don't know what that was. I need to do a little bit of digging. So, anyways, guys, that's just a deep dive on my thoughts on the worst performing stock in my portfolio this week. Some contenders were, I believe, who was it? Caterpillar and Bank of Nova Scotia were down about 6%. Both of them I'm not going to make content on today because they weren't the clear-cut underperformer in the market. And we're not always going to get a super bad performer. I mean, most days it's going to be, most weeks it's going to be probably Alibaba. That's been performing terrible, but we'll play it by ear. Anyways, guys, if you liked the video, make sure you give me a comment, tell me what you guys think. Again, this is just going to be a light news, a light organization of my thoughts on my investments, and a little more personal and selective. So it's nice to just take it one investment at a time, pause and see what I did and what I could have done better. And I think that I had just a very, very poor timing in thinking that 10% off the top was a good time to buy when it just really wasn't. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye now.